Hello, and welcome to another episode of the world famous,
Lume plotters, world famous,
infamous, world infamous.
Live, laugh, Lume.
Okay, plotters.
Okay. The Live, laugh, Lume plotters, yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So I got us t-shirts from the German watch club, the Caliber watch club, which has Live,
Caliber
Love,
with a
Lume
K,
on the back.
capital
and now we
K.
need to add plotters behind the Lume.
Is it loomed? Is the shirt loomed?
No, it's not glow in the dark. I know that's an omission. I already complained about it. I said, but it doesn't glow in the dark. You know?
So that's
What's
a
the point?
Big faux pas.
And you know that a Block to Watch did this, right? Because they have to a certain extent, similar logo than we have, right? Because they have this...
they stole it from us.
Yeah, they have also the indices, the Lume plot indices, and they have a T-shirt that actually glows in the night.
That's very cool.
That's pretty clever, yeah. But then,
imagine having to sleep in it.
Sorry?
Imagine having to sleep in it.
It's so bright.
It's like
you know, you have to wear sunglasses.
It's super luminova in your
In
chest.
Okay, so now I'm trying to convince Marton in this episode that the Rolex Submariner that is in my collection at the moment, thanks to my wonderful sister-in-law who gave it to me for safekeeping from my late brother-in-law, Ravi, who passed away. This Rolex Submariner 16610 is the perfect Submariner. And I'm convincing you that it is.
Okay. Before we get there, though, shouldn't we do the wristwatch check? Shouldn't we dust off the cobwebs? Yes.
What are you wearing?
I have bought a watch back from a friend of mine who I had sold it to for the exact same amount of money. He's a good friend of mine, George, and it is the Mercy. I gotta take it off the wrist. Remember this? The Mercy Hodinkee limited edition.
Oh,
Mercy
right.
Me.
Yes.
Yeah, with the gray Hodinkee dial and the blue hour hands. It's got the ETA 2801, I think it is, movement in it.
Oh, the hand-wound one.
The hand-wound one.
Yes,
and
nice.
Mine is a non-hacking one as well. There was apparently some kind of a mix-up where half of them were hacking. The other half was not hacking, which is very strange. But I have number... out of it's 1,500, so it's a very, very limited quantity. I have number 900, 900.
Wow.
A pretty good number.
I recently had a discussion with somebody and he told me if it's like 1,000, a limited edition of 1,000 or more, it's not limited.
Yes. We were just, George, the guy who I bought this from, this is when I got it. We were in the new Seiko boutique in Dubai Mall, which was a gigantic letdown, by the way. I was very disappointed by it.
Why?
In the terms that apparently Watch House, which is our previous seller of Seiko, because there's a few others, they retained the rights to Grand Seiko.
No. I mean, it's the same.
Yes,
it's the same
yes.
It's still a Fute Watches, the boutique.
No. I'm saying the Seiko boutique does not sell Grand Seiko.
No, that's correct. Because
all they sell is Seiko.
Be, which is not yet confirmed, but there
a Grand
most
Seiko
likely
boutique.
will be a Grand Seiko boutique, which will transform the perception of Grand Seiko in the region.
It needs to, because
Yes.
it is walking into Watch House is literally like walking into Lulu Hypermarket or Carrefour or Walmart or whatever you have,
Yeah, that's
and then
the
you
problem.
have Grand
If you
Seiko.
sell like watches under 100 dirhams, and then you're trying to
It's
sell somebody
fine.
watches 50,000 dirhams, it just doesn't
Yeah.
work.
So next to our Grand Seiko display, they also sell fossil watches.
Yes. Or whatever. Yeah.
It's a joke. It really is. But no, anyway, I went to the Seiko boutique and they had the new Jean Krantz limited edition, which I don't know if you remember this.
No.
You don't know the Jean Krantz limited edition?
I have no idea. What is Jean Krantz? Is it a person?
He is a person, yes. He's a NASA chief flight director, I believe, for the Apollo missions. And he very famously wore
that story. Yeah.
the Seiko 5, this reference that they just reissued.
Okay.
He wore it in the flight deck. Essentially, it's the SRPL 91 and SRPL 93, two different versions. They're very nice little stainless steel bezel, good looking watches. I will share my screen for you so you can see it. If I can figure out how to do such intense technology things.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Share. It's always, I always think I have to go into some submenu to share. Share my window or tab. Can you see anything?
Just a second. I can see myself.
How does this?
I'm looking
it
very
says
good.
I'm sharing. Oh, I'm glad. But you're seeing this now, yeah?
Yes, I'm
As
seeing
I move
your
around.
screen
Okay,
there.
okay. All right, there it is. These are the new Gene Kranz limited editions. They are cool looking watches. Let me see if I can.
I like
zoom
the
in.
monochromatic, the white and black and.
They're
black
really
and
cool,
white
and
white and
they're
white.
1,500 dirhams. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so they're very nice. There's Gene Kranz wearing it in the flight control deck or flight deck, and the limited. Let me see if I can do a quick search of how many pieces they made, because this truly is a joke. There you go, limited each to a total of 9,999. So that means there's 20,000 of these floating around, and Seiko has the audacity to stamp limited edition on the back of it.
Yeah, see, this is the entire
That's a
year's
joke.
production of Zenith.
It is no 20,000 is
Also,
double.
it's more double. Yeah,
Yeah,
double
because
what
it's
Zenith
two
sells
colors,
in.
right? It's 10 in each. So it is quite ridiculous what Seiko does.
Yeah. That's
So in this case,
a bit much.
Hodinkee doing 1,500 is not that bad.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
And you're wearing your AP.
Yes, I am wearing my IP tag. So, talking about the price of this watch, right? So it's as you know, I have bought this light blue strap, this textile looking strap for it, right? It looks like it's nylon on the outside. It's really cool. This rubber strap. But, and this is the big but. I mean, I don't know if you can see this here, but it is actually quite nice textured.
Texture. Yeah.
But it's still a rubber strap, and it doesn't come, of course, with the buckle, right? The buckle is on, you already have that in the box because this watch comes with a bracelet and a rubber strap. So you have this quick exchange pin buckle, and so that it doesn't come with a strap. So you just pay for the rubber strap, which is excellent, best quality you can have. I'm not joking. It is really wonderful, great quality, super robust, super comfortable to wear. But the price. I mean, look, these are two pieces of rubber. Yeah, even if it's the nicest rubber, even if it's done by Swiss virgins at a full moon on the mountain of the Matterhorn or whatever it might be, 2,400 dirhams
For a strap.
for
Without
a strap.
buckle.
And it's just like, this is insane. And then
Once again, without a buckle, right? Without a buckle.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should see some of our leather straps. And I thought, no, I don't even want to think about it. Any custom leather or strap maker, and there are some who make actually custom straps for AP as well, for the quick exchange system here, for the offshore. Man, I mean, it's the beast, yeah, but this is a beastly price. I mean, when you talk about this watch, the limited edition for 1,500, I could have nearly bought two of them for the price of two pieces of rubber.
Yeah, one for each side.
Yes.
Roughly, right?
And that's when I sometimes feel like, what
is.
are they thinking? What are these Swiss brands all doing? I mean, the price.
How much does a Richard Mille strap go for? How much does a Richard Mille strap go for?
See, what they are going for and what they are selling from the boutique is two things, right? I mean, if you know, for example, the straps for the Elegante, right? The rubber straps, the one in Tiffany blue. It sells for
I have
10
a
or
few.
20,000 dirhams.
I have a few queued up here. Watchmaestro, watchlab.ae, strap for 1103, 9,860 dirhams. Just the straps, no buckle. Rishon Mill RM30 strap, 10,700.
These are all originals, or is this an aftermarket?
Yeah, these are the originals.
Straps. Right.
Yes.
So that means
about
that's the
10K.
price of a Nomos Glashütte entire watch, or even one or two. One. If you're lucky, you get a nice Tudor for that money. Pre-owned Grand Seiko.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. This is nuts. And I think, yeah. Now let me convince you about a watch that has a stamped clasp and hollow center links, and convince you that this is the best Rolex Submariner ever.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
See, it's light. It has character because it is rattly. It was produced from 1988 to 2010, and that is the Rolex Submariner 16610. And I must say, I wore it for the last 2 weeks. I put it on, you know me, right? So I have to put things on different straps every now and then because I'm a serial strap changer. And I put it, of course, on an AliExpress strap.
Yes,
this is an FKM rubber strap from AliExpress, which is fitting perfectly well, feels extremely supple and soft, and is just a joy to wear this watch on a rubber strap. I couldn't believe how good that is. It's a bit like this wearing the Pelagus 39 on the Zelander rubber strap. I love that combination, right? So I'm back to that. Happy. The strap cost me, I don't know, $10, maybe less. And it's super, super good. It comes in a very, very nice and sturdy spring bar as well. It's super easy to put it on. But why do I think that the Submariner is the perfect one? It has so many quirks, right? It's a watch that was produced for 22 years, which is a long time without major changes. It still has super luminova. It doesn't have Rolex's chroma light, right? So the Lume is green. Obviously, the watch that I have is 16 years old. It's not lasting that long anymore, right? The super luminova. It's there, but it doesn't last that long. It has a lacquered dial, which is quite nice, but it doesn't have AR coating on the glass. So that means there's lots of reflections. It has an aluminum bezel. It has, as I mentioned, the hollow center links in the bracelet. It has a stamped clasp. It has no micro adjust, toolless micro adjust. You have to use a toothpick or whatever. You have a small pin. And it's, what else can I say that is weird about it? It does have 904L steel. It's the first Submariner that actually has the 904L steel. Before they had the 316 steel. But it's elegant. And that's the positives now. These are the quirks. But now the positives, it's elegant, it's slim. It has a very nice slim mid case. It has slim lugs that are actually quite nice. Some of the models, the transitional model, even had the drilled holes in the lugs. This one doesn't. So it looks very elegant. It looks crisp. It's all the bracelet is all brushed. There's no shiny. The sides of the case are polished though, but everything else is brushed. It's just a very honest, still borderline tool watch from Rolex, right? It's still a bit blingy, but not too much, and it's and not like the newer ones. And it still has a real tool watch vibes on it, because you see that it's not, and that's why I like it. And I even like the rattly bracelet, which I thought when, every time you pick one of these up, when you're used to the new bracelets, you think, oh my God, there's no way you can wear this. But once you wear it, you feel it's actually equally comfortable, right? So then even then they knew what they were doing in the comforts area. It's just when you take it off, you feel like, that's a bit rattly, right?
Yeah, but on the wrist, it's fine.
On the wrist, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so that's that. And then look, what I liked about it, because when I got it, I mean, he fell, right? He had a fall at some stage, a couple of months before he passed away, and then he must have scratched really fell on that watch, right? So the crystal is terribly scratched. The bezel was warped, right? And because it's an aluminum bezel insert, I could take, just with a watch knife, I just lifted off the bezel,
Yep.
disassembled the little tick spring thing that makes this tick there, and the little washer that is inside there, cleaned everything up, and then I slowly massaged this little bezel until it was straight again, right? Because it was really like 2 or 3 millimeters if you put it on a table, on a flat table, and one side it was 2 or 3 millimeters up in the air. It was really like pointing upwards. So it was squeaking when you had it on the watch. So I massaged it and then bent it as much as I could. All of which I couldn't have done if it would have been a ceramic bezel.
Of
That would have
course.
shattered already during the fall, probably, right? Which means that this is a watch for decades and centuries, because everything can be replaced or bent or
Exactly.
moved back into shape. So
All right.
that was my small little, yeah. And you tell me now why you're not believing
I will
me.
tell you a lot of things. Now, first and foremost, as you all know, I had the ceramic Submariner for the better part of almost a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
I sold it. Surprisingly enough, guess what I saw pop up in our group yesterday? It was my sub.
No way.
And
Really?
the reason I know it was
yours?
mine is if you zoom in, they had a picture of the receipt and my name was on the receipts.
No.
So whoever bought it has already grown tired of the sub.
When did you
In
buy
addition to this,
it? I mean, when did you sell it? Sorry,
2000
when did you sell it?
January.
Wow.
So it's been 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 7 months, something like this, right?
Uh-huh.
In addition, also the Datejust that I sold
Yeah.
had already popped back up on for sale.
No.
So it's just very strange that maybe I had made the right decision selling these watches, right? Because other people seem to not be gelling with them either. So the two watches that essentially I did sell, and I was, everybody said I was stupid for selling. I think I made the right choice. Now, let's talk about your Submariner. Now, when I was buying this watch, I had a friend named Jesus, and Jesus said, I'm going to Watchbox and I'm going to buy a Submariner.
Mm-hmm.
No box, no papers, a 14060M from 2009. And this was like 2020, like heavy COVID time. The market has not shifted yet. So the market was still fairly weak. Rolex was still available in the stores. So you could still go in a lane and say, I want a Submariner, and they would give you one right then and there. Mm-hmm. So I knew this, and I said, and the retail price of the Submariner at the time, the no-date Submariner, was around 27,000 dirhams. And my friend was going to go buy a no box, no papers, almost in brand new condition, last year of production, no date sub from 2009 for 35K. And I said, you are absolutely insane. This is the stupidest thing you've ever done. And I didn't realize, like, why wouldn't you just buy the new one?
Yeah.
Why would you pay more to get one that's 10 years older or however many years older? Well, sure enough, I have sold my sub. He still has his. And I have grown to realize he found the perfect sub. And that is the perfect sub. And once again, you have kind of misnomered what you're talking about, because you do not have a sub.
Yeah.
You have a Submariner
You're right.
date.
I have a Submariner
So
date.
your sub is not the perfect sub. The perfect sub is the no date one from the same year. So essentially everything's the same. Just skip the Cyclops and you're done, right? So the thing that really still to this day, and I said before I bought your Pelagos, I said, I'm going to buy one of these. I had picked out, I want the last of the last aluminum subs. And I did find a couple. And the thing that always turned me off from these was not the aluminum bezel, not the jangly bracelet, but the fact, and not even the clasp, the fact that the clasp was stamped.
Yes.
It was the fact that these idiots at Rolex decided in their infinite wisdom that they were going to imprint an oyster bracelet style link pattern into the clasp, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And you look at it and it doesn't look anything like a continuation of the bracelet. It's just like this half-assed, haphazard, like small indentations that it kind of are supposed to look like. To me, they look like bricks, by the way, not the bracelet.
It's supposed to not break the visual flow, but in the end, it just still does a bit.
It's so
just a bit odd.
bad.
Yeah.
So I always said that watch on a NATO strap is the perfect sub.
But hey, Forstner, who used to be a supplier for Rolex bracelets,
Rolex, yes,
is actually making bracelets for the Submariner. So you can actually
with what? With what upgrades? I didn't see this one on the Forstner website.
Go to Forstner website now. Share your screen so I can see it too, and then you can see there is one. You can even get a Jubilee bracelet for that watch, which I am super tempted to get. You have to go to the top, choose bands, and then you choose fitted bands, yeah, and then you choose Rolex, and then you have it's $180, so it's not cheap.
But look! Do you see the difference here in the clasp?
Yeah, because
it is
put
a milled
clasp. double button clasp on it.
Yeah, it is a milled clasp.
Yes, it's a milled clasp. It doesn't have a toolless micro adjust either, which is a bit of a letdown, but it is, of course, a nice solid clasp.
It is.
And you can get the normal brushed version, so you can get just the oyster style, right? And I think it's solid. The links are all solid. Then you can get the Jubilee one, and I'm so tempted to put a sub on a Jubilee bracelet. I think that's so cool.
I've done it. I still have my pictures and videos.
Can you share? Can you share later? Because you had the Super Jubilee, right? Which actually fit.
I had the Super Jubilee with the ceramic sub.
Yeah,
and I wore it for a while. My issue was, of course, there was no clasp.
Yeah,
so to speak. So it was very thin at the bottom, and it felt top heavy. For sure, but that was kind of the only real issue I had with it. But it looked great.
Yeah. Now I can stop sharing, otherwise I see myself.
I will stop sharing so you don't have to look at yourself. There you go. But anyway, I do agree. I do think that is the perfect sub. Now, I did think to myself when I sold my sub, what I wanted to replace it with. And there's a few things I want to talk about here as well. First and foremost, I thought to myself, I was going to buy a vintage sub. That's what I thought. Then I looked at vintage sub prices and said, I really don't want to pay $40,000 for a vintage sub. I looked at vintage Tudor subs, which I think were much more cool because, of course, it's a Tudor. Any day of the week, if you have a Tudor sub or a sub Rolex sub next to each other, I think the Tudor sub is cooler, right? So there is one here in Dubai that's for sale, that's been for sale for years now, and it is a black dial, snowflake hand, snowflake indice sub from I think 1978 or 1979. It's clearly beat to hell, and I think the guy still wants $40,000 for it.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you get a good one, nicely maintained or not too beaten up, I think 40 would be a fair price. But if it's a really,
but even then, I'm sure you could go to him and say, "Listen, I'll do 30." But even 30 for a watch of that age, I just felt
and it was
uneasy.
never that kind of a watch. I mean, that kind of money. a watch, right? I mean, this watch was
Yes.
probably when it was new, a few $100s back then.
And then you come along and you say, I said, I'll buy your Pelagos. And you said, okay.
Yep, exactly.
And that to me, it was the perfect solution, the perfect Submariner alternative. And I still maintain this.
I think that is true. This is still, I think, now, seeing that the Submariner is now in the $10,000 range, right? Or close to it. I feel like the Pelagos is what the Submariner used to be. And it's really absolutely, I think it's one of these perfect watches, right? And for you, of course, in any case, because it has no date, the Pelagos 39.
Yeah, this is my issue, obviously.
Yeah, the bigger ones do have. The normal Pelagos do have a date, right?
So before I had my no date or my date phobia, I did have the big Pelagos, and I thought of that as well as a very nice sub alternative, but it was much bigger than the sub. So I think that's more of a sea dweller alternative. But for the sub, the Pelagos 39, it fits better. It's smaller.
Okay.
By the way, we often forget this. Your sub, the pre-ceramic subs, were significantly smaller, lug to lug, as well as in diameter. And they're about 39 millimeters, as opposed to the 40 that they claim it to be.
Yes.
So afterwards, when they went to ceramic, they went to 40. The mine, which they called 40, of course, was 40.3. And then the 41 now is 40.5.
Yeah.
So compared to that, yours is 39 millimeters. So it is a significantly smaller watch, which of course then means it looks better, it wears better. You're not trying to be a, showboaty person wearing that, right? It's cool.
I think it is, and it does. As I said, it's the last one that really had the fully tool watch vibes with a perfect one watch collection identity.
I don't know if I could say it's fully tool watch because it still has the white gold markers, the indices. It still had a few other things that were a little bit non-tooly at that point. We'd have to go back in time, probably to the pre-80s, to get no Lume plot surrounds and things like this, right? Which that would be the ultimate kind of tool watch. And that is kind of what you look at the Pelagos 39 and that is exactly what it is. There's no Lume plot surrounds. It is fully brushed, which means there is not a single polished surface on there. And
I think even this is it uses these blocks made out of a Lume, right? It's a Lume ceramic mix, and these blocks are put on the dial, applied on the dial. It's really very tooly, and I think because it's a no date, right? I mean, it doesn't have a date. It's just more of a tool watch itself.
It is.
Yeah. Before we continue with Rolex, I wanted to just share one of the things which I always found a bit dazzling, because I've always wondered and never actually researched it. Because when I read somewhere, this is a perpetual calendar, but it is a secular perpetual calendar. And
what a transition right there. This is like the most intangible transition.
Date.
You went from talking about
went from date to the calendar,
to a perpetual calendar.
Dates. It's such a smooth transition,
fine.
man.
Fine.
Maybe I should have announced it better,
but
I think the segue is so
I didn't even
nice.
know what you were going to say.
Look, you don't like the date, but if you like proper dates, there is a perpetual calendar. And then there's your transition.
Sure.
And then there's a secular perpetual calendar. And I had always had in mind, because secular, I thought, okay, this is the opposite of religious, right? A secular state is where you actually have the division of state and church, right? And so I always thought about this in this context, secular. But what it means in perpetual calendar language is basically something different. A normal perpetual calendar knows the length of the month. That there's the February 28 or 29 every 4 years. It knows the 30th, 31st, all of this stuff it knows. But it doesn't know that 2100, the year 2100, is not a leap year, right?
Yes.
Because
correct.
The years have to be divisible by 100. And years that are divisible by 100 are not leap years unless they are also divisible by 400. So 2000 is one, 2100 is not, 2200 is not, 2300 is not, and 2400
Yes.
is not, I think. Anyhow, so my point is, 2400 again is one. Yeah, of course. Must
Okay,
be.
so let's mention this.
So-
it is, so once, as you said, it is every time is divisible by 100.
Yeah, so
We skip a leap year.
The first rule is every fourth year is a leap year.
Yes.
But then every year where the year's number is divided by 100 is by definition also a leap year, unless, and also is not a leap year if it's divisible by 100, unless it's also divisible by 400. So that's why 2000 was a leap year. 2100 is not a leap year. 2200 and 2300 are not leap years, but 2400 will be a leap year again. And in order to know this, you have to have a secular calendar. And then when you it potentially works until the year 4000 correctly, where then you will, all of these things don't matter to us. And everybody who listens to this podcast, you don't have to care about this because you will be long gone. And maybe, I don't know, maybe even humankind will be gone by that time. Who knows, right? Or we are on a different planet where we don't have the same years. Who knows? But the point is, this is a secular perpetual calendar is basically like the Champions League of perpetual calendars, because you then have also that kind of information about the hundreds, the centuries, and which centuries actually are leap years inside your watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I'm still reeling at the 100, 400 year rules. So,
and that's why I think that's why I now understand when somebody said, and this is a secular perpetual calendar. And I thought, so what?
The separation of church and state didn't affect.
And now I know. Now I know what it means. It is the masterclass. It is the Champions League. Okay. Did you know?
But then going beyond this, we have the, what did IWC call it? The IWC that made the infinite perpetual calendar. What was it?
Wasn't that the moon phase?
No, the eternal perpetual calendar, which takes all of these rules into consideration. As you said, there's still secular still has a shortcoming at some point, right?
Yep. But
in how many years?
Potentially in the year 4000, I think.
Yes, and then so that was always an issue. Is I remember IWC saying it will work until the year 4000 or something like this. At which point you have to bring it back to us for service.
Yes.
Sure, okay, I'll be there. But then this year at Watches and Wonders, they announced the eternal perpetual calendar, which literally will work forever.
No, okay, yeah, I think problems that needed solving.
But, exactly. Now.
But what did I want to? Can we jump to the next topic?
Sure. Is it going to be another great transition for you?
Yes, my extremely cool transition is, in the year 4000 every year there will be another 1 million Rolex watches in circulation, and that means in 4000 years, how many more millions of Rolex watches will be in circulation? It's 4,000 times 1 million. Ooh, that's a lot, right? How many is that? Do you know that?
I don't know. If you put 3 more zeros after million, you're in billions. So I'm guessing 4 billion.
Times 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it will tell me that is 4 billion.
I just said that.
Billion. Okay, you said that. Billion. The problem with these billions is, that they are so much more than millions, and I think And I said this in one of the podcasts before with you, right? When you talk about the million, billion, trillion, right, thing, that
It doesn't sound like more. Yeah.
it's like 1 million seconds is 12 days, right? It's like 2 weeks. But 1 billion seconds is 32 years. So
it's a big difference.
It's a really big difference. And that's mind blowing. And then there's what, 4 billion more watches in circulation from Rolex. If
they continue to sell them, if all the other ones are, if the rate continues. But by then, I'm assuming the Earth will explode, so we'll be all dead and gone.
You will not be able to see the sky because there will be so many Rolex watches everywhere.
It's going to be all the crust of the Earth that we're walking on Rolex watches.
But
anyway,
why I'm saying this is the CPO program has just opened up the eligibility of 1.2 million more watches into its program because it has reduced the minimum time. The minimum time that the age of the watch had to be 3 years before you could actually hand it in to your authorized dealer to sell it basically back to the dealer. It had to be minimum 3 years old. They have reduced this now to 2 years. So that means they have 1.2 million more watches available for the ADs to buy legally and then sell for a premium to new customers.
Yes.
Without waiting time. And getting you whatever purchase history with your AD if that's something that they need in order to give you something new. And shiny and fresh.
Yes.
Yep. So that's a big thing. And what I don't understand, and this is the funny thing about it, that is that we had this watch charts. I think they said that they looked for all the offers that are online, at least for CPO from all the ADs that actually are participating in the CPO program. And there's currently about 8,000 to 8,500 watches listed. And obviously there's constantly some are watch coming and going. But if you think about this, that is tiny, right?
It's not much because I think no one's actually buying them. I think the prices are so high. Generally speaking, the prices are laughably high.
They're about like 25 to 30% above the normal gray market.
Exactly. So the only benefit you're getting, I understand if you cannot get a GMT, so you want to buy one from your AD because you are not comfortable with assessing whether a Rolex is real or fake, right? Yeah. Obviously, buying it from your AD as a certified pre-owned will make it 100% chance it's going to be real.
Yes.
And you would also get a warranty for it, right? How long is the warranty? 2 years?
I think 2 years additional warranty. If the watch is still under the original warranty, if it's a 2-year-old watch, it still has 3 years original warranty, so you're not getting anything extra. Right?
But you're still paying
extra. You're still
covered,
yeah.
But you're still paying more.
Yeah, you're still paying a lot.
So,
but you can.
I just don't know.
Right there.
I don't like the CPO thing. I'm not a fan of it. I see the benefit, but we thought this was going to blow up and it was going to go everywhere, and everyone was going to start selling Rolex CPO. It didn't happen.
The thing is, what I don't understand is are they paying better? If I am selling my Rolex now to any AD that does CPO, or I'm selling it to any of the secondary market dealers who want to buy it, will the authorized dealer pay me more for it? Because then, of course, I have an incentive to sell it to them. They do their spiel with Rolex and either service it or not, or check it and whatever, give it a new service.
I'm guessing they're going to pay you less. I'm guessing they're going to pay you less.
That's my point. And so how?
Once again, this is the same exact thing in the car world, right?
Yeah.
If you want to do a quick trade-in, yes, you're going to get the money very quickly. However, the price you're going to get for it is going to be very, very low. If you want to take the time and list it and sell it yourself, you're going to get much more money, but it's going to take you more time and hassle and effort.
Yeah.
So this is the same exact thing that's happening.
Basically.
And also, if you're buying a used car, if you go to a dealer, a main dealer, to buy a used car, you're going to pay more for it. If you're going to try to find a deal yourself, you're going to pay less, right?
Yeah.
So it is identical to what happens in the car industry.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I honestly, I have never gone into a Rolex. I'm going to even go further. I haven't been into a Rolex dealer, aside from my own one in Elaine. I don't even know in how long. And the reason is I was in Dubai Mall recently and they wanted us to line up like cattle outside and wait for them to let us in, only to tell us that they had nothing to sell except for precious metal watches. I had a friend with me who wanted a steel Datejust, and they sold, sorry, we don't have a steel Datejust, but we could offer you a day date in rose gold or whatever. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is not the same target market.
I want a 30 or 40,000 dirham watch, and you offer me a $250,000 watch.
Exactly.
Watch. So it's like, yeah.
But the attitude that they do this with, the it just really is. Buying a Rolex is an absolute pain in the ass.
It turned into the biggest letdown when people are saying like, I want the boutique experience, yet I don't buy it.
There is no
Don't buy
boutique. I don't know if that's just Siddiqui and being here in UAE. I don't know because I've never bought a Rolex in Europe or in America or anywhere else. But here in UAE, buying a Rolex, every time I've done it, and I've done it probably the better part of half a dozen times at the boutique, every single time it has been an absolute letdown. And every single time I've walked out just soured by the experience. However, every time I've bought anything from Rivoli, for instance, I've been extremely well looked after. Just even going into the Zenith boutique.
See, I don't think it has anything to do with Siddiqui themselves. I think it's a bit more the brand experience to a certain extent, because
you're right. Because if you go into the mixed brand,
have fantastic experience.
Yeah, but look at the mixed brand Siddiqui store. Fantastic experience there too.
Exactly.
So, also Tudor boutique. I've had some very good experience in. So, okay, you're right. It's just Rolex.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more of the Rolex thing, because on the other hand, it's a lot, right? It's a lot of traffic, and the boutiques here are extremely busy. So I realized, when I have been into many of these boutiques with friends, when they actually got their delivery and they got the call of the APs and their Pateks, and I was joining them to pick them up. And I must say that the Rolex boutique is one of these where when you go in, and we were there to pick up, I don't know, a 70, 80,000 dirham watch, and asked, oh, you have this and this one in your display case. Can we try it on? Can we see how? Can we just have it in our hands? And they said, no, these are exhibition pieces. And I said, yeah, but they are clearly to exhibit so that we can actually see them, right? No,
and try them on.
We're not allowed. Anything else?
Exactly
Anything
what I was
else?
told.
Do you want a water or orange juice? And then basically sizing the watch, getting the money, of course, getting the money first. And then that's it. I mean, that was the end. It was really
this was a big this was a big debate I had with the Mall of the Emirates store. In Elaine, if it's exhibition, they will let you try it. That you can do whatever you want with it, right?
Yeah.
Except for buy it.
Yeah, of course.
In even the reserved pieces, the ones that are on hold, somebody's coming to pick them up, they will still let you kind of try them on and look at them. Now, going to Siddiqui after that and seeing something, I saw the 50 millimeter titanium, whatever, deep sea challenge in the window. And I said, I have to try it on and get a picture with it just for fun. And then, no, sorry, sir, you cannot. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And I did the exact same thing as you. I told him, but that's what a display piece is so that the customer can try it, see it, and then
put their name down.
Say, I would like to go to their wait list. Yeah, it's an absolute joke.
It is.
Nonetheless, the best experience I've ever had in Siddiqui Rolex in the Mall of the Emirates was when I brought back Christy, my wife's celebration dial OP.
Mm-hmm.
That like their jaws dropped because I don't think they saw very many of those.
Mm-hmm.
And they treated me before they knew who I was, because I assumed they thought that I had a profile to get this watch.
Yes,
So
of course.
they
You must be very
were
famous.
Exactly. They were overly nice until they ran the paperwork and it came back to some local lady or whoever, right? Whoever had originally bought it at that store. And then you saw that they stopped caring. But for a minute there, I got really good service until
That's sad.
until they found, yeah.
So,
But yeah, so I do think that they,
I must say, I got really nice service from the AP boutique, but I just bought a strap. So my entire purchase history is one strap, right? Because I bought everything else pre-owned. I got very badly treated with Vacheron Constantin for a while, right? I mean, I got 2 experiences, one in Dubai Mall where I was promised, just a call at some stage to buy a strap for my overseas. Never happened. And then the other one where I was basically told to buy my watch elsewhere. So do you think like that was in the prime of the COVID time, right? When it's just like you have no chance.
And I think Vacheron peaked a lot, right? Same with Moser. Moser also peaked.
Yeah.
And then now that the demand for them have dropped tremendously, I think they're kind of scared, right? They're thinking, oh shit, like we turned away a lot of potential clients that could have been buying stuff from us now, but instead, because of the terrible experience, now they're no longer. And I have to say, I don't go into Rolex boutiques because of the terrible experience I get every single time.
Yeah.
So,
but see,
at some point, maybe that
sometimes
same
you
thing will happen to
maybe it's a
Rolex.
Richemont thing, but no. JLC, wonderful people at the boutiques. IWC, wonderful people at the boutiques, very friendly, always accommodating, and it's just it's a different experience, and you think you are treated so much better at the lower end of the spectrum, considering Vacheron or so, right, or some others. That it just doesn't make any sense, right? So I think it's just a cultural thing, or it's a not cultural, a culture watch of brand culture. Let's say it this way, right? Or people are just too tired of always telling people, no, you can't have it. I don't know. I don't know. But
So I did go into one store that was a mixed brand store in Romania. And it was Zenith, JLC, I don't know who else, Cartier, I think. And it was just a random store in the middle of nowhere. And I just saw that they had a JLC logo, and I went in. And I was wearing a Hamilton khaki, right? And regardless, I was treated so well. They chatted with me. They said whatever I want, I could try on. Yeah. So I tried on a few things. I got them to get out the the new blue ceramic Defy, because they had one in. So I tried that on with the full ceramic bracelet. Yeah. So it was nice once again. But had it been a Rolex store, I guarantee it would have been absolute garbage service.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't understand. And then some people say, when I buy in the gray market, then it's not the nice boutique experience. And that's exactly my point, as I made earlier. For Rolex, don't even think about the boutique experience, because it's not really that great.
And the boutique experiences that stay with you are always the bad ones, not the good ones. So I remember distinctly, yes. I wanted to go into Cartier in Prague. I was in Prague, and I wanted to go into the Cartier store, and I had at the time, of course, this was pre-COVID, pre-everything, I had my Speedmaster on, which I would say is, if you are equipped to handle clientele, right? Certain people that are walking into your store, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to size them up, right? You're going to look at what watch they're wearing, what they're wearing. Is this a potential customer? Is it not a potential customer? That would be the first thing you do. Well, I wasn't even let in to the Cartier boutique because I had my daughter with me, who at the time was like 1 year old, and we had a bottle, like a milk bottle, and there was a sign that said no liquids. And I'm like, what would you like me to do with it? Just freaking leave it out. And the security guard physically would not let us into Cartier. And I'm just like, the audacity of these people. And of course, my wife was actually looking to buy something, but we said, no, screw it. And once again, to this day, I remember this like it was yesterday. And it was just like 7 years ago or something like
See,
this.
these are so sad, so many missed chances. And nowadays you would say, oh, great, for the little one, here's a bit of like a small little giveaway, a small little Cartier teddy bear. Well, who knows, right? Just
Something,
some little token or something. And
my daughter still plays. We went into Zenith together, and they gave her those memory blocks, the cards that and she still to this day plays with us.
Yeah, see?
And once again,
it's a chance of making a positive impression for everybody in the entire family, not just the kid who receives it, but also the parents. And you missed it.
and Mont Blanc, I remember we were in Mont Blanc in Rome, and they gave her a coloring book and a set of like Mont Blanc coloring pencils, and I'm just like, this is what we're talking about here, right?
Yes.
Because once again, like, I am much more likely to buy something and hold the brand in a higher regard if you're going to treat us well, right? Even if I'm not buying something that day, I'm going to come back and buy something from either your store or from one of your stores.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is. I mean, they made a lot of studies. I had this in university back in the days, even though it's a long time ago, about customer satisfaction. And customer satisfaction is higher if you have an issue and it's quickly and unbureaucratically solved. You have a higher satisfaction with the brand as if you had no issue at all. So it is really an opportunity for brands, if somebody has an issue, to increase the satisfaction to a different level and have an even more loyal customer, because you helped this person.
We talked about this before many episodes ago. I think it was years ago on the podcast, but this was when I went to the Ritz-Carlton in Ras Al Khaimah, the Wadi Desert one, right? Or whatever it's called, the Wadi Safari, whatever. You've heard of the Ritz-Carlton $2,000 rule, right? Have you heard of this?
Yeah. I mean, it's more than that, I think.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was $2,000.
That you can give away that much in a month?
Essentially, they are able to control, as an employee, $2,000 to make somebody's experience better, right? If there's a problem, right? So essentially, they have a budget of $2,000 to fix a problem. And this is kind of exactly what happened to us. We went in and we were going to go to dinner, and we had picked out the restaurant that we wanted to go to, and et cetera, et cetera. Turns out they decided to close the restaurant because it was outdoor dining, and it was middle of the summer in UAE, and they deemed that it was too hot to eat there. And I'm like, well, first and foremost, according to your website, this restaurant is open. Secondly, we don't want to sit inside. Nighttime for us is our outdoor seating time, right? We don't get to sit outside during the day for lunch. So if it's 9 p.m. and I want to sit outside, I would like to sit outside. And I was kind of upset by this, because I'm like, we're there for one night. Like, I want to have a good dinner. I don't want to have a good dinner in some, cabin somewhere. I wanted to do the big, kind of grill under the stars thing that they were advertising. So the lady said, okay. And then this is like without much of a, conversation. She said, we'll do private dining under the stars for you, for your party. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, is it going to be the same price as what you would have had? Because that's the first thing, right? I'm not going to pay, 1,000 dirhams or whatever a person. And I said, no, it'll be the same price as if you were going to the regular, per capita dining experience. And they did it. And it was just I think there was like 7 or 8 of us there, and everyone had a good time. And they were right. It was way too hot. I didn't factor in the humidity in Ras Al Khaimah, but nonetheless, we had a great time.
Yeah, but this is what I think it's just surprise and delight. It's exactly that.
It is. And we still talk about this. Remember the time we got this private dinner in
Yeah,
Russell Kema in at
that
Ritz-Carlton.
can form loyalty for life. I mean, with
And I'm
that
trying to
on your
find decent
emotional
deals to
bank
go back.
account, you can also mess up a few times without that really affecting it too much, because you have this big, plus on the one side because you had this positive experience. You have a story to share, right? And this is much nicer to have a nice story to share than to have a disappointment to share, right?
Yeah, and this is the second time I'm sharing it on this platform, right? Once again, if you're in, look around, don't just look at the random price, because the regular prices are like 4,000 something dirhams a night, right? We ended up going, I think it was like 1,200 dirhams a night, which I think is much more stomachable. But it's the Wadi Desert Ritz-Carlton in Ras Al Khaimah, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was
I've been there, I think,
excellent
3, 4,
experience.
5 times already over the years.
Yep.
Before it wasn't a Ritz-Carlton, it was something else. I forgot what it was. Different brand, but they changed.
But it's essentially a wildlife preserve, right? So you go in.
It's lovely.
And
you have the
there's
onyxes
tons of
running around. You can do horseback riding and all of the stuff, which I did. I mean, I'm
Yep.
I'm old cowboy from Germany, as you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I did some horseback riding and stuff. It was nice.
But nonetheless, once again, here I am talking positively about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have nothing positive to say about any of my Rolex boutique visit experiences.
It's sad. It's sad. It would be nice if we had, right? So, and this is the one thing that I really appreciate. Sometimes when you go into boutiques, you go for some of these events. Sometimes when they're absolutely nice and friendly to you, and they just, I now felt that I've been to 2 or 3 of these events from JLC, and every time I go home from these events, from these absolutely amazing people there, right, and the nice experiences, I feel like I really need to buy a watch. I really need to buy a JLC because I really like the brand. And that is because of the experiences. And of course, because the watches are amazing. But during this time, and that's a good thing, our small group was there. One person from our watch club actually bought a nice watch and the new World Timer, Reverso World Timer. And he was able to just buy it there and take it home. It was just amazing. So it was very happy camper.
Mm-hmm. With the enamel, right? It had the enamel around on the back side. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Such a cool watch. So I have to say, in terms of brand experience, the best brand experience I've ever had was JLC.
Yeah,
100%.
Really nice.
And I think, as we said, we've discussed this before, but I think it's because JLC is not a household name. It is a very niche name, and therefore they have to do things in order to get people through that door.
Yeah, but I also feel that JLC is a bit like from the top down. It's like ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, like you have in some hotel companies as a motto, right? I think it is even Ritz-Carlton.
Oh, no, I have a bad experience with JLC in Dubai Mall. I told you this. When I went in to buy my Reverso and had a huge scratch, and the lady goes, "It's there because it's handmade. It's perfectly normal." And I'm like, that's bullshit, because there should be stickers around the bezel. Where are the stickers? Oh, this one doesn't come with stickers.
This scratch was handmade.
and we have this experience with specifically Chinese salespeople in Dubai Mall. Because we have so many Chinese tourists that are coming through Dubai. Most boutiques, especially the most high-end boutiques, will have someone who speaks,
Mandarin, yeah.
Mandarin. I was going to say Cantonese.
No.
What is Cantonese?
Hong Kong.
Same, right?
Yeah.
Hong Kong, okay. But nonetheless, they want someone. But if you, as a, quote unquote, a resident, local, whatever you want to say it, end up with one of these, it's almost undeniably going to be a bad experience for you.
I wouldn't.
They generally.
Say that. I had a lovely experiences.
Have you? Mine's always been bad. I always feel like they would prefer. I've had some very bad experiences with specifically these types of salespeople. Most of them, I actually say, most of them were women as well. So I'm not saying anything that women salespeople are bad. But the 2 bad experiences I've had with these, one was at JLC and the other one was at Rivoli. My only bad experience in Rivoli and my only bad experience with JLC was a Chinese saleswoman, both times. And both times trying to lie to me and say something that wasn't true.
Yeah, that's not
And
nice.
I don't know
that's
what,
not nice in
what
any,
they're
any
doing.
kind. I mean, maybe it was random that you had this.
Of course it could be, but it's in our minds. We start creating patterns, right? If this is what happens 3 times, but of course the third time was Rolex. So, that's normal for Rolex. But in Rivoli, they wanted to tell me that I couldn't use FASA, that they wouldn't have FASA discount.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you do have FASA discount. Oh, no, we have never had FASA discount. Like, I've been shopping with you guys for like a decade. I know for a fact you have FASA discounts. And this lady just didn't know what was going on, but she was very, very adamant that no, this doesn't exist. It's never existed before. And you are wrong, sir. And, and once again, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So,
yeah. It comes down to training sometimes, but I guess during the boom years, I mean, sometimes there was a lot of fluctuation between different, people, and training was not as sophisticated as it is now, not so process oriented.
And this was,
I think, thankfully, a lot of these brands have come around and just invested a bit more into people. And
yeah, but I should preface with this: both of these experiences were like prime watch market time around 2020, 2021, both peak COVID and peak, when everybody was buying watches. So
yeah, it was the time when everything went just through the roof. And of course, service levels dropped because you could sell anything you just needed to open the door, right?
Exactly. And
if,
then people would come in.
One person didn't buy it, then the next person would come, right? You don't buy the watch with a scratch, the next person will. Because it's handmade.
I don't understand. Like, I mean, that's ridiculous. And no, I told her, because obviously I don't mind a scratch. And I told them specifically, you give me a discount, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And they, no discount. I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of these
was the
rules
same one.
that also happened during this time when they said, no, we have no more discounts. And then they increased the prices every year. And then,
and this is exactly what happened. I told you, I booked it on a Wednesday night, and I said, okay, reserve it. What's the price? It was 25,800 or something. And then Thursday morning, the price had increased to 28,000 by 3,000 dirhams, 28,800. So I show up like ready to buy this watch, and I'm like, you couldn't have told me yesterday. Oh, we didn't know yesterday there was a price increase today, but I reserved it yesterday. So she said, but you should have picked it up yesterday. And that was her solution to that problem. So I'm like, this is
I think generally when you are the salesperson, you have to, and this is again, it's the empathy, right? It's just like, I see the situation here. You reserved a watch yesterday, and today I want 3,000 dirhams extra. So I'm going to speak to my manager, my supervisor, and see what we can do with the brand manager, whoever, whatever, if we can accommodate that, because you have reserved this watch yesterday, if you can still buy it for that price. At least
but combining that with a scratch
as well. If you come back to this saying like, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. This is what it is, but maybe we can throw in an extra strap for you or something. Something might have happened, right? But just from
who knows?
Because that's what during this time, everything was crazy, and they know that when they piss you off, it doesn't matter because somebody else will buy the watch.
We'll buy it, exactly.
And now there is different. Now it's
and the thing is, JLC keeps continuing to reach out to me with all these events and all these things, and I'm just like, I don't need another JLC, right? In my mind, I have the one I want, and I'm kind of done with JLC. But I continue going to their events, and I enjoy them, and it's awesome, and I have a good time.
And that is also a customer, because eventually you might move on that watch and to somebody else, and you
buy
want
something,
to have a new one, and then you will
I think
buy
so,
one.
yeah.
And also your career is going still on. That means you're probably in a higher position eventually, and then of course you have a more disposable income. You might inherit money, whatever it might be, and then you will have another JLC on the horizon, and that's what they need to be prepared for. And that's
I think that's a good point.
And Ritz-Carlton has this as well. They said when we have a customer lifetime value is I think in the millions for them, because if you have a loyal customer in a hotel company that actually comes back a lot, and you really screw up this relationship and you go somewhere else, this can be a loss of millions for the company in the long term.
Yeah.
If you have a very loyal customer. And that's why it's so important to just be happy and friendly, even if you only purchased one time.
All right. Now, I want to talk about two things before we end here because we're already
Mega episode. Okay.
Well, your what's it called over here? Your transitions have been
my segue
random for
legendary.
Sure. Yes. Now, I wanted to mention, speaking of these random events that watch brands do have, I've mentioned a number of times. I've been to the Longines horse jumping competition that they have here in Elaine. So I think 3 times now have been invited to go to this, and the gentleman that has always invited us, his name was Patrick Owen, and he was at some point just a Longines brand director here in UAE. Then he got promoted apparently to brand director of Middle East, and then he got promoted again, brand director for Longines for Middle East and Asia. And just last month, he was promoted yet again. He has now been named the official CEO of Longines.
Yeah, of the entire Longines.
It's so crazy. Like, I have his phone number. I messaged him. I said, congratulations. And he said, thanks, Martin. And I'm like, that's I didn't want to immediately, ask for anything. But of course, there's a few things that I would have wanted to say, right? Like, please come be on our podcast. That would probably be number 1. Number 2, you need to make more watches with no dates. Smaller sizes.
Yeah. And to be honest, at the moment, as if I would give a CEO of Longines any recommendation, is like, just continue the path you're on, because Longines is on
That's what I said,
man. Don't change too much.
I used what you said. You told me this, and I said exactly that. And I said that Longines is on a fantastic path right now, and keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
That's all I said. And but I do want to ask him. We've never, we have had a bunch of CEOs.
Oh yeah.
But the reason we've had CEOs on our show is generally not because we know them, right? It was always because we met them at Dubai Watch
and we got the opportunity to speak to them, and then of course we do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some we know, like the Melans, the Küffers. So there is, we can get them on if you want to.
But to meet someone socially that then goes to become the CEO of a major watch brand is so crazy.
The thing is, Longines is not just any company.
A small brand.
One of the top
I know.
5, right? In
revenue. And this is what makes it even more crazy. I had because I have spent hours and hours and hours with this guy, right? We've chatted about everything from, obviously we spent a lot of time talking about non-Longines. We talked about Longines. We talked about random non-watch related things. And I remember just chatting with him and thinking like, oh yeah, he's just a random dude that happens to work for Longines. At no point at any time in my brain did I ever think this guy would become the CEO one day. And he was just a very nice, very cool guy. And that was it. So I think it's very strange how small or insular our little watch world is.
Oh, but absolutely. I think Longines is the number 7 in the watch
global rankings
of the Morgan Stanley top 20.
Well, this is Swiss
but
watch rankings.
They are a bit sandwiched between, and this is. I mean, think about it. Rolex, Cartier, Omega, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, Longines, Vacheron Constantin, Breitling.
They're in the big boys.
That's where Longines is. I mean, this is really something where you just sometimes, just don't register Longines of how.
I mean, once again, if we go back to Longines, they were the first ones to invent rotating bezels. They were the first ones to invent GMT bezels. They were the first ones to invent a whole bunch of different stuff.
They had so many patents, or might still have so many patents. I think it's when the Swatch Group bought all of these brands together, right? They needed to get a hierarchy together. And that's when I think Longines or Omega was basically a Toinkos.
So the
What did I
reason
just say?
it was a coin
toss? A coin toss.
a coin toss. Essentially, they were debating which one of these two brands, Longines or Omega, should become the top brand in the group, right? And the only reason, and this was stated very clearly, the only reason that Omega was chosen to supersede Longines was because they felt the average person can pronounce Omega easier. And that was the only reason they chose that to be the top dog.
I thought it might have been the moon landing stuff because they thought they could.
No, it had nothing to do. No. It was just the fact that Longines was harder to pronounce. And if you're going to have a flagship brand, then you want it obviously to have an easy name to go up against Rolex.
And Audemars Piguet.
Longines, anyone? So it's just harder to pronounce, I guess. But now, okay, the last thing I want to talk about very quickly here. I went to Blancpain and I tried on the new 38 millimeter Blancpain. And it was shite. Utter disappointment.
What?
It was absolutely terrible. And the proportions are all wrong. It is 100% a lady's watch. And I was so disappointed.
See, but what did you think about the 40 millimeter? Because I really like that one.
I had no issues with the 40.
40 is really nice.
But 38, I went in thinking this is going to be the new Tudor Black Bay 54 kind of style. Not even close. It was absolutely tiny, way smaller than the Black Bay 54 in feel. But in addition, you can tell a lot about a brand's notion about what a watch or who a watch is for based on the length of the strap that it comes with. Right? Yeah. I said this before with the new JLC Reverso, the small ones that they had just released, and I couldn't fit in it. It was on the last slot, and I was like, in their mind, this is a lady's watch.
Yeah.
And the same thing again here. The bracelet I fit in just about without taking any links out. I have a 6.5 inch wrist, guys. So it's a very small, wrist. And then the rubber strap, again, I was on the last pin buckle.
Yeah. So then it's actually targeted for the ladies. Yeah.
100% is targeted for the ladies. And I'm very disappointed. But in addition to that, it's super short lugs. And that also tells me
my wife
for the ladies, exactly. Yeah. So, but compared to a Black Bay 54, which has gigantic, huge, long lugs, it did not do the same things, tickle the same, pickles, in the same way. It was I was very disappointed by it because I thought I just blindly thought, that people would have learned from Tudor and Tudor's success.
Think sometimes, right?
But no. So there you go. That's all that I wanted to get through here. Lots of ups and downs today.
Blancpain, this is the love-hate relationship. I love Blancpain as a brand. I still have my Blancpain. I will never sell it. It's super amazing. I had my Bathi scarf that I sold eventually. I miss it a bit. I would love to have a 50 fathoms, 40 millimeters. It's just so expensive. I wouldn't mind any other Villeret or anything from Blancpain in my collection. I know a lot of people don't value them, but these deals you can make pre-owned are amazing. So that's why I'm such good watchmaking for affordable prices, relatively.
I'm
I like it.
Yeah, it is. But and once again, the prices of these Blancpain 50 fathoms are ridiculous. They're beyond
I think they
ridiculous.
always need to be above the Submariner.
Omega.
The Submariner and the Seamasters and all of the stuff. And so
well,
much
I say
above.
Omega because they're in the same group, right?
Yeah. It's just when you stick to this hierarchy thing, then it's just, you need to go up in price if the others are pushing you from the bottom, basically, right? And that's sometimes you really have to also give the customer something for these price increases, right? And that's the problem. If the customer eventually says, that's now reaching a point where it's not worth it anymore for me, then you have a problem.
Yes.
And on that bombshell.
It's
time for us to say bye-bye until the next week.
Yes. Yes, yes. Next week we talk about much more interesting things.
That was very interesting. I think I think that was great.
Then your perpetual calendar /
The
Rolex
secular perpetual
segue.
from a date to the perpetual calendar.
No.
It's still smooth.
That
as silk.
was yes, smooth as silk. All right.
Okay. See you next
Bye-bye.
week. Bye bye.